$10 from Joe the Mig to say, Wick, you're absolutely in the right, but how do you de-escalate a situation where you have Matthew Dowd on MSNBC literally blaming Kirk's rhetoric for his own assassination? How we de-escalate is...
Well, let's be very fair, okay? Kirk's rhetoric absolutely contributed to his own assassination. This is something that is happening. This is something that is omnipresent throughout this entire case. You can't analyze this just based off of the shooting. You have to look at the entire picture, and the entire picture is that right-wingers have been escalating violence and violent rhetoric in this country for the last 8 years, for the last 10 years. And it's not even close to what the left says, because no matter what example you can show the left to do, like the most maximum you can really show, possibly, is King Teslas, all right? King Teslas, okay? It's not even close compared to Paul Pelosi Hammer Time, the Pizzagate shooter, January 6th, right? It's not even close. We're not even close. It's not even close. So no, I refuse to show any degree of sympathy, okay, except for in private, against Charlie Kirk in public. Because guess what? I refuse to cater to these absolute human, degenerate, drooling vegetable scumbags like Asmongold, okay? Jesus Christ. These monsters, Tectone, Asmongold, these fucking horrible fucking people, okay? These absolutely dehumanizing, dysgenic freaks, okay? I absolutely refuse to bend a knee and suck their dick, okay? They are some of the most heinous, disgusting, immoral, evil monsters and creatures to ever exist in this entire space, okay? Holy cow. But yeah.
Well, that's the conversation tonight, right? That's part of the conversation that we will be talking about. $5 from Deej Nuts to say, blame the far left. That's already feuding with Dems. They are mostly responsible.
Again, I can't believe I'm saying this. Again, when I see the way that Republicans and lefties talk about shit like this, or anything similar to that, it reminds me a lot of anti-fan behavior, okay? So what anti-fans would do is that anti-fans would straight up just go like, well, don't you think that your optics are horrible? Doesn't this show that what you're doing is horrible? Doesn't it show that what you're doing is unacceptable? Blah, 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 right? So the problem here is the double standards, right? On one hand, you have the anti-fans, you know, in Destiny's drama, right? Going like, okay, well, don't you think that Destiny's optics here are horrible, blah, blah, blah. But then on the other hand, they're like wishing for him to die and wishing for Z from Unfuck America to die, unironically. This is the same that we see from Republicans. They will concern troll. They will say something like, well, doesn't this look bad for the left? Isn't the left responsible for a lot of this shit? Like, isn't this so bad for the left? Well, hold on 1 second. You want the left to die. You personally want the left to die. You virtue signal all the time about the left being, all the leftists being, and liberals and Democrats being pedophiles. And then you virtue signal about pedophiles being grinded up in a wood chipper. The logical conclusion is obviously you advocate for liberals dying. And then we have mass shootings and everything happening IRL to corroborate that. We have the in real life events to back that up. Okay? So, yeah, I think it's just ridiculous. It's insane. It's a fucking hoot, right?
And then $10 from Blahiki Blah to say, I just got word that a friend of mine's wife was being sworn in to be a Republican politician in her local district, and she's planning to quit now because of the news and her terror at the reactions.
So it's truly horrible. And I think the comment about MSNBC is exactly right. I mean, like, it's not like this is purely a fringe issue. Like, there are fairly large mainstream voices who have said things that they probably shouldn't be saying. And the only way that we can hold them accountable is to actually do that. That doesn't mean that we're, canceling people. That doesn't mean that we're, trying to get people fired. What it does mean is it's exactly the same as when there was a debate about American flag burning recently. And I was saying, like, you have the right to burn a flag, but you shouldn't. It's a shitty thing to do. You have the right, but you shouldn't do it. You have the right to make edgy jokes. You have the right to make terrible Charlie Kirk jokes. I'm a lawyer. I'll go to court. I'll defend you if that's what it takes. But you shouldn't do it because it's a shitty thing to do.
Is he actually a lawyer? I can't believe it.
And we should we should coalesce
Sorry.
around that and remember and like know who these people are, because I think we've gotten to the point where a lot of people have parasocial relationships with creators who really do say a lot of pretty terrible stuff, and they don't hold them in any way to account for that, even morally. They don't even they'll just engage in this kind of nonsensical conversation where they say, well, the other side's so bad that whatever my side is saying or doing is justified, and that can't be the way forward. And the only way out of this is to actually start holding ourselves to that principle.
Was that a super chat that said that, Wick? The local politician thing?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know if it's true or not.
It doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, if it's true, that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? Someone being afraid, who's probably a moderate, because I mean, if she's afraid, she's probably, whatever, she's reasonable.
He's certainly no Kafka. Nobody can be Kafka. Nobody can be Kafka, okay?
She's gonna step down. Who's gonna replace
Okay, maybe I'm simping for the man too hard, okay? But obviously I look up to Takaka.
that person? Probably somebody that's angry about this, right? If you have like a primary or something, somebody's gonna be fired up. You're gonna get a much more radical person in there, and that's how you get a right-wing fascist government. And I'm, as a conservative, I'm saying this. I'm terrified of those fuckers too. And if the normies are stepping down from office, it's a concern. Like this is not gonna have the reaction I think people want.
I'm curious I want to hear from Deej real quick on his thoughts, but I'm also curious because while me, Gibbs, and Ryan swim in similar circles, I think Peaches swims in a different kind of portion of the internet, at least somewhat. And I'm really curious what she's heard some people in her community say about all this. How are people reacting on your side of the internet, so to speak? But I want to give the mic first to Deej, and then I want to give it to Peaches and see what is said. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I actually kind of disagree with you a little bit, Ryan. I think that both sides of the political spectrum need to start engaging in cancel culture of people that call for call for violence, call it stochastic terrorism, whatever.
Whoa, careful, okay? You're basically talking about like 95% of the right pundits right now, okay? 95% of pundits who call themselves conservative, if not like 99%, they directly engage in stochastic terrorism, okay? They love it. This is what they do, all right? It's their favorite thing to do. Stochastic terrorism, they do it for breakfast, okay? They wake up every day and they think, oh, today I'm going to do some stochastic terrorism, okay? This is every day. They do it every day, okay? Yeah, I mean, you're basically talking about 99% of right-wing, fucking money. Meanwhile, on the left, you'll probably only eliminate, I don't know, 40%. That's fine.
You want. I think that
whatever.
Both political parties need to start excising people from their spheres of influence that advocate for political assassinations, even if it's plausibly deniable with how they do it, right? I think if both the Democrats and Republicans start to draw a clear dividing line within their own parties and their own coalitions between themselves and the people that are cheering on or justifying the assassination of their political rivals.
I would agree and say the Republicans should do it first. Because as far as I'm concerned, the liberals or the Democrats are constantly self-regulating all the fucking time. So why the fuck? So why the fuck should we do it first? Again?
Both parties need to say, no, that's not allowed. And I think that's the only path to actual de-escalation. I was actually having an argument with someone in the server earlier today where I was saying, if you say it's awful this happened to Charlie Kirk, but I could understand it happening to Trump, you're part of the problem. You have to draw a line in the sand and say what is acceptable in the political arena or not. And that will require the Democrats who are in my super chat already feuding with the far left, with the Hassan types, Bad Empanada, etc. Draw a line and say, you and us are no longer in a coalition because your rhetoric is not acceptable. And the right also needs to do the same thing.
Yeah, $10 from Sweet Tartarus to say, Charlie Kirk's rhetoric is definitely partially responsible. He said many things about violence being the price of liberty, and he even asked people to post bail for Pelosi's husband's attacker. No. You are not responsible because you are giving your political opinions for someone coming in shooting you because of your political opinions. You're just not.
That would.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, Wick. Did you get some brownie points off of that? Did you get extra brownie points?
Be a good example of the type of person who's not on the team.
Exactly.
Well, hold on. Is there any political opinion that could be justifiable to shoot? So, say it was I want to kill every member of this race, and I'm going to try to enact policy on that. Would that make them justifiable to kill them?
No, I would say even you shouldn't assassinate Hitler, because even if you're morally justified in doing so, assassinating.
What? That's a take? Wait.
The person who's not on the team.
Exactly.
Well, hold on. Is there any political opinion that could be justifiable to like shoot? So, like, say it was like, I want to kill every member of this race, and I'm going to try to enact policy on that. Would that make them justifiable to kill them?
No, I would say even you shouldn't assassinate Hitler, because even
what? Dude, okay, it depends. Is Hitler in custody? Is Hitler in custody? Then no. Is Hitler still in power and he's actively genociding in that moment? Then yes. Obviously. No shit. It really depends on what you're talking about, right? But I'm assuming it's like in the middle of his reign, right? In the middle of his power, because otherwise it's a useless question. Because then the question would be, should we execute Hitler, not should we assassinate Hitler? So, yeah, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This is a ridiculous thing to say.
If you're morally justified in doing so, assassinating a despot, assassinating a political or geopolitical rival, very rarely leads to more stability in the long run. So even from if you have a moral justification.
What are you talking about? When it comes to fascist, fuck, I hate it whenever somebody isn't like educated on this shit. When it comes to fascist governments and dictatorial governments, their entire movement is backed off of one person. One person is the reason for all of it. Unless the entire country shares a certain sentiment, that is then given to the next ruler, okay? But yeah, typically, sometimes it's just like one fucking person who's like fucking behind it all. Sometimes it's like cult of personality.
For it, it's not practical in the long term if your goal is a stable, functioning society.
I think that there's.
This is why Foodshops isn't on that panel. I think I'm good. I hate panels. Every single time I'm on panels, it drives me nuts, okay? I fucking hate attending panels. I'm sorry. I would rather cover panels, okay? And click off anytime. Because when I'm on a panel, I feel like I'm just like stuck there, okay? I want to give commentary.
The way that you can, as a political pundit, kind of, what was the word? Someone else said it better. Not like deserve it, or like based on the rhetoric. I would never say that. But if someone's like challenging and like, like come at me or teasing the idea of getting shot and playing with violence, and I think that could be a way that it could be like seen as someone who, deserved it or should have seen it coming or whatever. But I don't think Charlie Kirk would fall into that category just because of his opinions regarding like gun laws.
Just real quick, Metalworks, I am sorry. We're going to move you out for someone else who is scheduled to be on the panel.
No problem. Can I just say one thing?
Yeah, one thing,
before...
and then we'll let you go.
So I was going to come up here and try to make suggestions. I like what Deej said there. Both sides need to start calling their radicals and start bringing them to heel.
You know what I want? I want Destiny to debate Wick again on this.
I want to say you, the average person, if you're politically active in any kind of political space, if you see people doing very inflammatory rhetoric that I guess violates terms of service or is like very bad, we need to start holding those people accountable. I don't want to ban them, but that's probably going to have to be something that we have to start doing is start also cultivating our smaller spaces as well. We can't just let people just going around saying this incendiary rhetoric and saying very, just asking for people to get, murked so casually. It needs to stop.
Oh my god, somebody bring in Soy Pill. These people are so boring. Like, dude, it's just like, God, why bring on anybody if they're gonna give these boring ass takes? Just fuck me, dude. It's just so boring. This is just so boring. I just like, I wish like people would just like be spicier without actually breaking TOS all that much. All right, but like, I don't know.
Thank you for the thoughts. I do appreciate it, and I apologize again, but it's a weird day today. Okay.
Oh yeah.
It's an interesting point, though, because it's not enough to say, like, we got to not support people who are doing the wrong thing. You actually have to support people who are doing the right thing, because it's very easy to get attention by having an edgy hot take. But people who think in paragraphs and provide nuance, it's actually very hard to get attention on the internet that way. So, one solution to this problem is to, in an attention economy, give your attention to people who think in multiple sentences and aren't calling for violence and are actually trying to organize around limiting principles that we can all live with.
I think that the problem, you know what's funny, gang? If I had put on my
wait, how do you mess up a panel like this? I thought you were a good debater. I don't know. Maybe you actually do well. Okay, we'll see.
If I change my YouTube title right now to far right activist gets murked. Ha ha ha! He deserved it. My numbers.
that's my title.
You could add a 0. Okay, it'll be mostly people yelling at me, mostly people hating on it, right? But you could add a 0 to my numbers right now if I did that. I almost guarantee you, people would come in to have their issues with it,
not
to
necessarily
create engagement with it. It would be.
I mean, you're a very boring person, Wick. So sucks to suck. Okay.
A terrible thing, but that would get to Ryan's point. That's what garners attention. That's what gets clicks. That's what gets views. That's what gets people talking and gets people in the news. What gets people noticed. And yeah, let me read a couple super chats, and I want to ask my question to Peaches again because I don't think you ever told us what people in your sphere were talking about. But let me read these super chats real quick. $10 from Doobie to say, this is for Deej. Would you apply that standard to Destiny and other moderate liberal influencers who have run cover for violence?
Doobie.
Do you think he should be excised from the party? If no, why? That's to you, Deej.
You're not going to see me defend Destiny. I also don't think he really is a moderate liberal. And also, I think he should be excised from the party for a multitude of reasons that, don't even have to be relevant to what he said about the guy that was shot at the Trump rally or the flooding in Texas. I think that he's kind of toxic to his political initiatives, so you should probably excise him, even if he doesn't necessarily fit the criteria of someone that's a stochastic terrorist.
Peaches, what are you seeing on your side of things, on your side of the internet?
So I've seen a lot of, speculation, the obvious, what side of the aisle did the murderer fall on? Was he a Republican? How mentally ill was he? Is he a liberal? Talking about, I can't wait to see this person tweet or that person tweet. And then just, I've seen a lot of the jokes and stuff too. I've never really been, I kind of said it before.
I don't think the identity of the shooter is really that important. Like, fuck. I'm sure we're like all wondering like how the fuck he manages to like fucking get that fucking shot, right? Obviously, as well as the planning and whatever. I think that stuff is probably going to be just kind of interesting. Especially if that person has a manifesto, right? But just keep in mind, just in case this guy is a Democrat, okay? Like, you shouldn't be changing your rhetoric based off of whether or not they're a Democrat or a Republican. Your rhetoric should always just be the Republicans have been escalating violence in this country far more than the fucking Democrats, which should always be your consistent rhetoric, no matter who the fucking shooter is, period. Yeah?
Like, I'm not... People can make jokes. I really don't mind. I don't really think that in this case it's appropriate for, I guess, me. I don't really like it very much, but I think that the whole, different sides of the aisle and immediately talking Republican versus Democrat, again, kind of like with the same, or I guess echoing the same things that others have said, is that we kind of need to be together on it and just say that it's not cool. Like Barack Obama tweeted it best, that there's no place in our democracy for this kind of violence. So
how do we fix it? Because just to add context to the question, we have a situation where in order to make money, in order to get attention, you are encouraged to say and do the most outlandish, extreme things possible. That's what gets attention. That's what gets...
But that's just words, though.
Views. That's what gets you money. So we have a situation where that's the incentives. That's the monetary incentives that everyone is facing right now. How do we fix it in that context? What like saying don't do that is all well and good, but when people are making 6 figures doing that, it's hard to...
Well, fuck, then you better blame people like Charlie Kirk, because you're just describing Charlie Kirk, right? I mean, yeah, he's just describing Charlie Kirk. Shit.
Just don't know. I just don't know what else to say to that. Like my words versus their money.
That is him.
What's gonna win?
Yep.
Yeah,
I do want to give it to Peaches first, though.
Well, I think that people are going to do what they can to make their money, no matter what. People have been profiting off of violence and hateful rhetoric for a long time. I don't think it's necessarily going to change, but I think that the only thing you can do is just not play into it yourself and just call them out for being pieces of shit and hope that terms of service kick in for some people. AKA, I know Twitch and Hassan. I was actually just suspended for a week on Twitch for saying jokingly something, but I won't say it, but something really small and dumb.
Just real quick, are you currently suspended on Twitch?
No, I'm not.
Oh, good. I was about to be like, no, we're gonna have to let you go. No, but if you're good, we're good. Okay. I was like, no.
I won't say, I guess, what I said, even though it was literally the dumbest thing in the whole entire world. It was just like a cute little joke.
I'm sure Wick doesn't mind. You can say it.
No, I do mind. We're on Twitch right now.
People say it all the time. It's just like,
why even stream on Twitch anymore? This platform, just by principle, you shouldn't be supporting this platform. Oh, fuck. You know what? I don't blame anyone who's trying to make a living on Twitch or something like that, but fuck. Like, they have crossed so many lines for me. Holy shit. In terms of, like, being unironically, like, pro-stochastic terrorism, pro-Hassan, pro-everything, pro-terrorism. It's just, like, just get me out. Just move to YouTube already, Jesus.
Common, like, oh, hee I just dislike this group of people or whatever, but it was a joke. Okay, and good fun.
Okay, group of
I feel like I'm making it worse for myself, but I promise it wasn't.
Did you
it
say
wasn't
the
ever-
word?
Gingers? Did you? No, I'm just kidding.
Now
No,
everybody want to know.
Yeah.
But it was along the same lines. It was something that, yeah, it was along the same lines of just, yeah, Gingers is a good fit in for it. Was that small of a thing, and I got suspended for a week. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like if Twitch applied its terms of service consistently, then we wouldn't really have that much of an issue. We shouldn't be having this issue. Truly, we really shouldn't. And so I think we need to look more to these platforms that are promoting this type of truly hateful content. I think is a big thing that we can do as well.
Like,
Just so you know, TikTok has officially made gingers African Americans now, so that's the stand-in.
Is that
wanna-
true?
It's a joke on TikTok.
He's fucking with you.
Nice.
I
okay.
do want to make
No, it is
space.
a joke on TikTok. That's a thing because the redhead's being replaced by him.
I do want to make space
Yeah.
for the other individual who was scheduled to be on this panel, and I want to apologize for the subject.
I need to go. I actually need to go.
Admiral,
Yeah.
yes, we love you.
Good.
We'll see you later, buddy. Okay,
Perfect.
bye-bye.
Later, y'all be good.
The Gen Z attorney, welcome
Yes,
to the
sir.
show. I apologize for the subject change, but I hope you
Oh.
will forgive me given the circumstances of what's going
She
on.
said those why people hate men.
Completely
Really?
understand.
That's it?
And certainly, obviously, it would feel weird. It would feel wrong to be talking about the woke games and movies in light of kind of this very large discussion. But sorry, I'm a little late joining, so I feel like anything I've got to say is probably just reiterating what's already being
It's
said.
okay. People are just tuning in. I'm cycling viewers, right? This happens. Thank you for the raid, Admiral Gibbs. Really appreciate you. But what are your thoughts? Like, when did you hear about this? How did you hear about this? What was your initial thoughts hearing about this? And what has the reaction that you've seen been like? Go ahead.
Foodshops, do you think Trump will declare war against the left and immensely increase the rhetoric towards the Dems? Yeah, no, I mean, he's already declared war against the left. Like, this is something that he's already been doing and always has been doing at this point, right? Yeah. Sorry, I can only look at Kick Chat once in a while, okay? The reason for this is just simply because I have Kick on the other side of my screen. I have my video game on, like, covering over Kick Chat. So I can only check Kick Chat when I'm, like, switching back, okay? But yeah, just FYI. Oh my god. What is this? Wait, should I be here for YouTube for Foodshops? I mean, you can choose either one. Listen, it's fine.
The spiritual battle is coming to the West. And the enemies are wokeism or Marxism combining with Islamism to go after what we call the American way of life. And the American way of life is very simple. I want to be able to get married, buy a home, have kids, allow them to ride their bike till the sun goes down, send them to a good school, have a low-crime neighborhood, not to have my kid be taught the lesbian, gay, transgender garbage in their school, while also not having them have to hear the Muslim call to prayer 5 times a day. That's important.
What?
We want the American way of life, which is, by the way, Christendom. Christians, our sacrifice, our toil, our vision, the outgrowth of the scriptures gave us Western civilization. And this is where I think is a great rallying cry. Doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, doesn't matter if you're Asian, doesn't matter if you're black or white. Everybody, if you are Christian and Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, these two threats are combining forces to come after us. And it's time that the church stands and rises up against it.
Yep.
Bro just gave a Hitler speech. Really? This is the person we should be feeling bad for? Motherfucker just gave a Hitler speech. Islam is the sword the left is using to slit the throat of America.
Well, I guess my
Interesting.
my pulling the I'm an attorney card has already kind of been blown by Mr. Ryan Mullally, but hey, that's all good. I was about to go into an appointment just with a new potential client, and next thing I know, I get Wick's message. Actually, yours was the first message talking about, hey y'all, we might have to change our topic tonight. That was the first immediately, when I looked it up and saw the faraway video first, and then like, okay, I can't do anymore. I got to go on this this appointment, and then after I had another appointment right after, but I had a minute, and then I found the close up video, and was like, I've seen people survive similar type wounds, but
Hey guys, just a reminder, okay? I have a Discord server. We discuss politics all the time. All right, discord.gg/foodshops, okay? discord.gg/foodshops. Yeah, just by the way. So thank you. Please join our server and support us, okay? Support the stream. Thank you. I appreciate you guys being here. All right, thanks for all the support. I do appreciate it, okay? We have a chill time, most of all. And we have a fun time, okay?
It's yeah, definitely had that feeling of this is not looking good. And
Yeah.
obviously, I mean, probably the biggest, most important thing is obviously there's so much information that's still yet to come out. My understanding is the shooter is still at large, so we have no information, nothing whatsoever.
Calling him Hitler when he says Hitler things is raising the temperature of the rhetorical zeitgeist. Can you tone it down, please? But it literally sounded like something out of, like, Force Awakens. Like, it's literally like the Force Awakens speech in front of, like, the fucking First Order.
Everything regarding that is all just pure speculation at this point.
Is there anything? Yeah, there's.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Then beyond that, it's just about what's the broad picture. How do we get here, and what do we do moving forward? Which is kind of what, when I stepped in, you were asking Peaches, kind of that same question.
And an important. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say that I was out getting cat food.
I'm being sarcastic. No, I know.
Okay, the news alerts, but I got an alert from the Associated Press saying that there was someone in custody who was not the person who shot him. Mm-hmm. I don't know where we're at with that, but I just saw on Twitter some of that, circulating of, oh, this is the guy who's in custody who shot him. So I just wanted to. I don't know if that's changed.
Yeah,
but
it has.
That, but,
There's been further reporting that unless it changed in the last minute, right? Which it might have. But as I understand it, the latest news is that the subject is still at large. The suspect. Okay. Whoever did it, they don't know him, so they don't know.
I actually live literally 50 minutes north of where this happened. If anyone's familiar with the UVU campus and where this was occurring, there are lots of tall college buildings that the shooter likely was posted up on. So they probably were long gone before anyone was even really looking for the shooter outside of the crowd. So it's going to be a while before we know anything about who the shooter actually was. So just don't. The initial reporting is going to be awful because, very, very easy for the shooter to have gotten away and gotten quite a distance before the search even started for them.
And I think it's an important point in general, like how do we turn down the temperature and about the things that you guys just both raised. Fast news is good when you want to figure out what's happening and you're plugged into a story and you're interested, but don't draw conclusions based off fast news and hot takes. Like, you will be burned, you will be wrong, you will make mistakes. It's happened to me. Stories come up and I've locked onto some detail that was retracted later because it turned out to be incorrect. You'll be a saner human if you take your news slowly. And that's, I think, good advice in general, especially when the temperatures get high.
I want to read to you.
The problem with taking news slowly is that you allow all your enemies to fester their dialogue because they already have their talking points prepped ahead of time just in case anything like this happens, right? Like, the thing is that they all follow the same marching orders. Every single time something like this happens, they'll always just immediately start firing off. If you don't fire off as well, you are behind. Does that make sense? You can't afford patience. You can't afford waiting for news to come out if you're a political commentator, right? Or even a drama commentator like me. The thing is that you kind of have to give your take immediately, otherwise you'll look like a coward for waiting. But if you're just a regular viewer and you don't really have anything on the line, then you should wait. Absolutely, you should wait. But the thing is at least in terms of me, right, at the very least, you have to immediately start shooting off. The head-on video from afar of him getting shot, the ring switches fingers. That's proof that it's AI, except he wore a clasp ring and he'd switch fingers with it all the time on stage. What? I don't... What, you're saying that is faked?
You guys, from the Trigonometry podcast,
for example, I'll give a really good example of this, okay? So, imagine if all the left-wing pundits said nothing, while all the right-wing pundits right now started blaming the left. What do you think that will look like? Nobody will take a step back and go the right-wing pundits are rushing to conclusion. No one will say that. Everyone will be like, yes, the right-wing pundits are right. See how the left is silent right now? They know exactly what they did. That's exactly what they'll say, okay? So do not be mistaken, okay? This is... again, you have to start saying something. Okay.
Konstantin Kisin had a take, and
It's
he
not fake,
kind of
yeah, I
gives his
know.
feeling, and I don't know, it's hitting a chord with me. I don't know if I 100% agree with it, but I want to read it to you guys if that's okay. He says this.
Wait, but it was virtue signaling online that got Charlie Kirk shot. It's also virtue signaling online by Hassan that possibly got 2 people shot. So the thing is that like it doesn't really matter. Like words online can actually lead to like IRL deaths, right? Yeah, stochastic terrorism is the thing. So yeah, I think people need to realize that.
He says, I hope I'm wrong. But tonight feels like some sort of invisible line has been crossed that we didn't even know was there. The last time I felt like this was 9/11, when it was clear, without knowing the how and the what, that the world was about to change forever. Like the rules of the game had been permanently altered, and there was simply no going back to the innocent, peaceful past. I didn't feel like this when an attempt was made on President Trump's life. If I had to rationalize why I didn't, I guess it's because several U.S. presidents have been shot at and even assassinated. Somehow it was within the realms of the possible, no matter how awful. But to murder a young father simply for doing debates and mobilizing young people to vote for a party that represents half of America, this is something else. Charlie's death is a tragedy for his wife, his children, and his family. I don't pray often. I am praying for them tonight. But I fear his murder will be a tragedy for all of us in ways we will only understand as time unfolds. I hope I'm wrong. I don't know. I echo that sentiment in a real way. It does feel like there's been a seismic shift that the world we were in this morning is not the world we are in today. It could be,
brother. That's after every shooting. Like after every shooting, it feels like there's a seismic shift, but then we'll forget about it in like 2 weeks. Okay, Jesus, you like just wait 2 weeks. Just wait 2 weeks. You won't even notice anything has happened. Okay, the Uvalde shooting, the Paul Pelosi hammer, just any event that feels like everything has shifted or anything. Also, Wick, you're an old man. You should realize this by now, okay? Jesus, you know how things go down because you're old. You know how people treat news like this. Anyway,
just the shock of it. It could be just the recency of it. But that's how it feels. What are the rest of you guys?
It's 100% recency and shock.
But
Yes.
I'm just curious.
I think just a thought that I had when I was thinking about, what's a similar level of notoriety, or like if another figure was assassinated like this today, like which position would we be at as far as who would be in a comparable level? And I'm curious to hear y'all's thoughts on this, but I find it hard to think of any political figures on the right that this would be more shocking to hear about than other than maybe Trump and Vance. I think if a speaker Mike Johnson, it's like, okay, yeah, it'd be crazy, but then there'd be a new speaker that would come in and the kind of business would continue. Obviously, all the debates would still happen, but like as far as someone just with that level of influence and like the most effective ground game organizer in the whole movement, and then all these other factors too, kind of like Konstantin mentioned, being young, being a father. It's like I struggle to think of any other figure on the right outside of probably Trump and Vance.
Ben Shapiro.
I thought of Ben Shapiro, but I don't even know if he's got that level of following.
Okay, I kind of want to skip to a part maybe where there's more fighting, because this just kind of sounds like people are calling in just to condemn the shooter, which is like, listen, I don't mind condemning the shooter. I think that's fine. All right, I'm against vigilantism. I thought it was cringe that people were praising Luigi Mangione when he killed the United Healthcare CEO. Okay, and my stance isn't going to change on that. You shouldn't be worshiping the shooter. Obviously, you shouldn't be worshiping vigilantism. Okay, but like again, the point that I really want to illustrate here is the fucking double standards. It's just such a boring stance to condemn a shooter or something. It's just so boring. It's just so drab and boring. Jesus. Anyway,
I saw your quote tweet to Destiny earlier. Basically, was saying this is the exact opposite of what needs to be done right now, and so it sucks because it's like sometimes it feels like we've got no impact whatsoever. But all we can.
Oh my god.
The Whitmer kidnapping.
And again, we're doing
the different
Whitmer kid.
The person
of Michigan.
Okay, it's okay again. Okay, we got Prime Kai. Okay,
that's just I don't know.
There's
Michigan. That's just I don't know.
I really need to push back on this Whitmer thing, because
why?
So that everybody is aware, the facts on the matter, the people that did get charged and convicted did so on plea deals. I don't believe that there were 2 or 1 individual that did not accept a plea deal that did not get any charges. And the implication is that when the arrest happened, I believe there were 3 FBI informants for every 1 person that had charges.
Are you saying that it's not accurate?
it's high. They would not have been able to successfully kidnap Whitmer because the person that they were buying explosives from was a federal informant.
But they were trying to buy explosives.
They were trying to buy explosives.
Watch my content suggestion. Where? What do you mean? What'd you post? Charlie Kirk claims gun deaths are worth it to protect Second Amendment. Listen, okay, yeah, we know he's a hypocrite. Okay, don't worry.
Yeah, they didn't bring the amount of money. I think that they were saying they needed like $5,000 to buy these explosives. They brought $400. They didn't even make the plan. The person that made the plan for the Whitmer kidnapping was a federal informant. Like, that's why, even though the charges did stick for the people that pled down, I don't believe that the people that challenged the charges actually got convicted of anything because of entrapment. Because there, again, when the arrest happened, there were more federal informants than there were people that were charged.
What? Fuck.
Yo, dude, Masaki, thank you so much. For the 5 gifted subs. Thank you so much, buddy. Thank you.
Why does it matter? Why does it matter? Because, yeah, I would expect there to be a lot of federal informants on a case like trying to kidnap the governor of Michigan. Why does that matter?
Oh, this. Dude, I'm going to be honest, Mr. X, okay? You coming into the voice chat to call me out was weird as fuck, okay? You were going in all hostile energy, all right? I didn't appreciate it, okay? Which is why I'm hesitant to promote your content. But since you made such a great fan edit, I'll do it, okay? Fucking fine, okay? I'll share it. I'm Mr. X, okay? Well, I just want to say, okay, Mr. X, okay? That was weird last night, okay? Jesus. But sure, I'll watch your thing. It was good. I saw it. Okay, I am the chosen one. I am the main character. Yes, I am. Right. I mean, it's meant to be sarcastic, but based. Thank you. That was based. Okay. I mean, the smiley face was cut off, but I appreciate it. Okay. You should post it. Just post it on social media. Okay.
Because the training,
that's my understanding as well. What DJ is saying. Hello, hi. You guys.
Do you have a camera for us today, Prime?
Hold on. I gotta put my nipples away. You know how I am about that.
I do.
But anyway, my understanding from what DJ was saying, and I don't have a deep understanding, like encyclopedic knowledge of the situation, but my understanding was that it looked like entrapment. I was on like the Whitmer kidnapping ban as well, and we know the FBI has done literally exactly that. Right, like they did that to our Muslim brothers and sisters after 9/11. Right, they infiltrated their mosque. Right, they found people who were like disaffected or just like easy targets, people who had like mental limitations, and they got them to say all kinds of things. They put like plans.
Yeah, it's the shit lips guy. It's Prime Kai. It's the shit lips guy. Okay,
into place like for their behalf. So my understanding is this is something that they did. So that's something that matters.
It does matter. Hold on, just real quick, because I have an opinion on this. Okay, I don't want to get in on this. It does matter for the sense of prosecution and legal consequences, but I do still find it condemnable, even if they were tricked or trapped into it, that they had this desire to want to do this act, even if they were pushed into or convinced.
What if they were convinced? They're like,
if it help, you can come back in 30 minutes, okay?
Okay, like there are cases,
what happened, though.
And there were cases in terms of like the Muslim situation where individuals really had no real desire, but was continuously pushed. Okay, this is the plan, guys. This is what we're going to do. Let's go buy the explosives. You know, they were just like led along the entire time.
You should say no in that case.
Somebody had to become an informant. So it was the Wolverine Watchman. I didn't know that we were ever going to have to talk about the Gretchen Whitmer case and the facts of the matter, but they had their own group that was formed, and then somebody noticed that it was getting a little too crazy, and so then they ended up becoming an FBI informant in the case. But yes, that is true. But also, I just want to point out that when talking about violence that is committed on the right, again, all I asked was, would you condemn the same type of violence on the?
Oh, let's go! Finally, some action. I wanted to get to here like earlier. Jesus.
other side, and then it turned into, well, I can see, you know, where they're like coming from, and I don't know, look at the way that the right is targeted, and then now we're talking about how basically they were tricked into it, and so it's just but okay,
I would just say, right, I am a lawyer, but like I said, I led off with that. I haven't looked too deeply into the case. That's why I was willing to concede just largely that, kind of echoing what Wick was saying. It sounds like there was a sentiment among this group to perpetrate this plot, but then there was also involvement by feds, and entrapment is by definition a gray area of the law, and to try and base any sort of judgment based on plea deals, you can't. There's a million different reasons that a defendant might take a plea deal. I would kind of corroborate what DJ's saying about there were 5 that did take it to trial and that were acquitted on charges. So just throwing that in there. But largely speaking, like that's why. But the legality of the case itself aside, I'm willing to concede that there is sentiment, there is feeling of people who want to do things like this. We can debate whether or not how many steps they took of their own accord to make that happen. Whitmer is a prominent political figure, and so certainly that's why she's relevant to this discussion. But
I mean, look, we don't. If we want to even set aside the Whitmer thing, we have the what was it, the Minnesota or the Michigan? One of the M states. Again, as I keep bringing it up, guy broke into their house and shot state Democratic politicians, just shot them dead. And I don't know. Prime though, you wanted to come in on the discussion and you had an opinion on the Charlie Kirk stuff. I want to give you a chance to give your thoughts, give your take. What do you think?
Yeah. So, to be clear,
has Prime? Sorry, I said crime. Has Prime been crying?
I wholeheartedly condemn this type of political violence. I think that this makes us, like us being the America in our society. I think this violence makes us a more dangerous. Makes America more dangerous.
What? This is coming from the shit-lived, like, I'll never forgive anyone who supports genocide person? This is coming from this? This is coming from the genocide person? The fucking shit-lived person? Did you call him crime because black? No, it's just a slip of the tongue, okay? Jesus.
I think that encouraging this or celebrating this like leads us down a dark road, and it's one that the left will lose in terms of like who can apply more violence, right? Is it the left or the right? It's definitely the right. They're definitely more well done.
This is cringe.
And I think definitely more willing to use that. So I think that like for people encouraging others, right? Like I saw one comment saying, like Ben Shapiro is next, like for people encouraging that, like I say like you should use an immense amount of caution in this particular area. However, all that, and also, and to be clear, if I had known, let's say I had somehow some forewarning of this attack, I would have called the police. I'd have that guy stopped. If I had seen, I was on the stage and I like saw a laser dot on him.
You have a very cute voice, and I'm sure that you are a very cute chatter. Thank you so much for that compliment.
Him, right? I would have pushed him aside. To be clear, like we don't want to encourage political violence, and I don't want to just see people dead like that. That being said, the thing that I have a problem with.
Wait, what the fuck? Okay, here's the crazy part, okay? How is it, dude, politics is a dance of life and death, okay? And for anybody who disagrees, you're wrong, okay? There's no such thing as, like civil politics is a facade, all right? Civil politics is a facade. I understand why people say, like, oh, politics is civil, because it's better to do politics civilly than it is to do it violently, but that's a contract that we all agree on by social contract theory, right? As humans, we all agree that it's better to do things peacefully rather than do things violently. However, when you're encouraging violent rhetoric and you're constantly turning up the temperature, at some point when deaths happen, you shouldn't be surprised. Like, I just don't get why people are shocked that this even happened. Like, we obviously have seen this coming from a mile away. Everyone has been warning about this. It's like, okay, I'm not sure if this is gonna work, but like it's like the White Walkers, okay, from Game of Thrones, okay? I haven't watched the series, so I could be wrong about this, but like it's just kind of like that, right? Oh, we all knew they were coming. They've been coming this entire time. We have to team up together, okay, to take down the White Walkers. It's the same fucking thing. You can't, like, again, politics has always been about stabbing people in the back, has always been about fucking Archduke Ferdinand type shit, okay? Like, this has always been the case. Members of the Nazi Party tried to assassinate Hitler themselves. Like, this is the reality. This is the reality, okay? It's just a little bit of peeling back of the foreskin to reveal the tip of the penis, okay? That sounds weird, okay? But you get my point, right? Yeah.